everybody. Welcome back to Post in Black. My name is David Hunter Jr.
Masterpiece. What is this? He's going to paint his masterpiece. You're just sewing these topics together. You are a cold interview, boy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Post in Black. My name is David Hunter Jr. And today we have Desmond Faison with us. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed.
Blessed. All right. Now, before we get started, we always start with a little icebreaker here. So we got something for you. Yeah, man. If you had to go to a choice of a concert between Jay-Z and J. Cole or Nas and Kendrick, who you choose?
Jay-Z.
And
whoever else he was with.
Hands down.
Who'd you say?
Jay-Z and J. Cole?
Oh, yeah, all day.
Okay.
All day. Listen,
or Nas and Kendrick?
I like Kendrick a lot.
Yeah.
I like Kendrick a lot. I'm a little bit afraid of him going Andre 3000 on me at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, Nas, we do a whole episode on my feelings toward Nas. And Jay-Z all day.
Hands down. We can't be mad at that.
No.
Hov, one take Hov. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's amazing. Well, we're here at Post in Black. We welcome you here. We thank you for being a part of it. Pretty much Post in Black is to promote, awareness for post-production and African Americans in the community, minorities. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you even got into post-production. But just give a background about yourself.
Well, like you said, my name is Desmond Faison. I'm from Portland, Oregon originally.
Okay.
Graduate of Montana State University.
Yes, sir.
So you can draw from that what you want. But,
yeah.
But how did I get involved? I played college football, and I randomly got an audition. After I graduated, I got an audition for a television show, and I was a jock, meathead. I was like, I'm not no actor, twirling, because I was actually modeling at the time, and I was like, I'm not no actor, that's weirdos, that's AV club, like, But
okay.
I got locked out of my apartment, and randomly, through a weird set of circumstances, ended up at the audition anyway, and they turned on the lights, and I was just like,
right.
like, this is it.
Really?
So I packed my little Honda Accord up less than a year later, and moved out here. Got here, was excited, got a lot of auditions, got agents, but then it just ended up being, drug dealers, and he went that way. Like,
oh, man.
Thanks for coming, an hour and a half in Santa Monica traffic, and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So I was randomly, my sister brought me a little camcorder for Christmas or my birthday, I don't remember one or the other. I stole my niece and nephew's iMac computer with the blue back on it.
Oh, yeah,
You might not be old enough to remember the blue back.
That's a little throwback.
That's
a throwback.
I'm old as dirt now. I'm getting confused. So I stole that, and I was so broke. I just had the computer in my bed, and it was connected to the camera, and I just kept doing it till people were like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." I just kept editing, and then YouTube became a lot more accessible. So I have a master's degree from the University of YouTube.
Really?
That's about it.
That's about it, man. That's fire. Yeah, that's like you've been in it for a while.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay, you tried. Yeah, you went. So you fell into it, but once you fell, you knew immediately that was
hard,
for you.
Yeah.
Fell hard. Okay.
100%.
That's amazing because a lot of people, they kind of, right now, they're trying to figure it out. They don't know which direction to go.
Right.
And sometimes what we
let's not be confused. I don't know which direction to go.
Oh, yeah. You know.
I know I'm in love, but I don't know.
Right. I don't know, how this is going to end up.
Right,
we're working at. We're going to
exactly.
Wendy's or we're going, I don't know. So we trying to figure it out.
Fleming's or Wendy's.
Yeah. That's a big discrepancy.
Who you telling?
Telling that credit card too.
Man, come on.
Man, no more for her. I'm saying, no, we're going to stay on topic. It's all right. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But in terms of like your experience, you've been learning on the go, it seems.
100%.
You didn't necessarily go to school in the beginning for what you're doing now. Was that
in the beginning?
Yeah, in the beginning, like when you first went to college, you went mostly for football, right? It wasn't like, I was really into film or really. Okay. So how did that transition? Did you feel like you coming into it with a fresh perspective, not having always wanted to do it, did it enlighten you more? Because sometimes people, they get burned out by the time they start so young. And now they're like, I think, no, this is the way you do it. I've always done it this way. Did it help you or?
I think it was a gift and a curse because I like I said, I basically taught myself most of what I know, and with the help of people that I worked with, as it kept going and just gleaming information from different people and figuring it out on the run. But the benefit of it definitely was having what I coined as a unique voice, whether it's in directing, editing, even all the way down to color correction or or even music and how I choose to lay music in, and just developing a style based on what I like and not having any preconceived notions of what was right and what was wrong. Just how it made me feel, and then conversely how people who saw my work were like, oh, that was cool, how, you know. And I think that a lot of times, from what I've seen, no shade, but sometimes a lot of film school students films look film schooly. And
explain that a little bit more, maybe for somebody who's watching and they don't know anything about film school, or in terms of like what it's not, like film schooly, because I kind of know what you mean, but it's like a little bit more amateurish, are you saying, or it's like you can kind of see everything coming? It's
kind of, you can see a lot of things coming. For me, it, you know, like when HD TVs first came out, and you had the ones that were just super bright and like they didn't have any black in it, and there was no shadows, and everything was just very sharp and right. And the bums had clothes and they were dirty, but they were dirty like they had just been bought from Marshall's, and somebody rubbed them in some dirt and put them on somebody. So like it was some dirt here, but this is creased still. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I feel like a lot of times film school students' films lack texture.
Okay.
Or even for that matter, life experience or struggle or triumph or excitement. They seem sometimes a lot like caricatures of art. They seem like, like caricatures of art. Like, this is what I saw, a movie that made me feel something, or I know this movie made a lot of people feel something. I'm going to recreate it, but I'm going to do it right. And I have a red cam, so it's going to be awesome. So
you hit a nail on the head on something when you just said. You said life experience. And that's kind of how this whole Posting Black was birthed out of. Life experience. My brother, Daniel K. Hunter, was working at Sony, working on a few shows. You were a cold interviewer, boy, because you were just sewing these topics together. Yeah. You know what? I may have seen something, and so I'm going to do it my way, because we got a red camera. We don't got red. We got this thing from Sony PV, but it's working. But no, literally, he worked in a situation where he was the youngest person, African American, and he was young, but he was still old enough to know, hey, something's going on here. I'm the only one here. Am I the only one that you're letting in, or do people not know about this type of job, this workflow? So for you, kind of working in what your film, coming into it from not knowing, not amateur, but just coming into it saying like this freedom. You say it's helped you. Where do you feel like it's hurt you?
Oh, it's. I could go on for a whole episode on that.
Life experience like that will kind of like, you learn and you get better to where you are. You've been in the game for over 10 years now. You know, you obviously are better than when you started, but when you started, maybe there was somewhere you're like, oh, this is good.
There was definitely, when I first started, there was more of a freedom in what I did, because I was just like, I had literally no idea. So I was just like, whatever I do is what I do, and what I like is what I like. So if I want to turn the camera upside down, or play with this piece or play with that piece, like, I was free to do that. But now it's like I know better in a lot of cases. So I feel almost obligated to quote unquote do better. But that's not. But in art, that's not the way it works, right? Because for me, speaking for myself, I'd rather listen to a Marvin Gaye album on vinyl with the pops and cracks, or listen to Michael Jackson say, "Look over your shoulders," as opposed to the sterilized music that they make now, where it's like, "Oh no, let's loop that, let's pop that, let's fix that, let's fix that." But as far as film school goes and that kind of thing, it's one of my biggest regrets about not going to film school, or being a more traditional artist, or even going to work somewhere. Is just the idea. It's like the overnight artist thing, right? Like, people will have you think that, no shade to Miss DuVernay, but people will have you think, oh, Ava just came out of nowhere and took over the world. But from what I understand, what I've heard anyway, I guess, what we failed to neglect to say is she worked at a huge PR company, or she was a huge publicist or something like that. She had Oprah Winfrey in her Rolodex. She, you know what I mean? It's not like she didn't just wake up one day, make the most brilliant movie of all time, and become Ava DuVernay. There was that industrial knowledge and that industrial connection and those industrial connects that aided her. And I've seen time and again where, and we've all seen it, from Adam Sandler to Issa Rae. You know, you get in a tribe, and you hope that tribe goes with you. And there's nothing like getting that tribe in college, when over top ramen and you know, vibing over the same stuff and becoming adults. You're like, okay, cool, she works here, he works here, he does that, he does this. Oh, cool, so you work, how does that work? How does that work? Okay, I'm gonna come to your party. Oh, I met, you know what I mean? And I'm a little bit of a social recluse.
I got you.
So those two things, not having that. I went to Montana State. If I'd have wanted to make films about cattle in Montana in the Great Plains or whatever, I probably could have done that. I could have found a way to do that if I'd have stayed in Montana. But I don't want to make those movies. I want to make movies for studios and independent studios. So to me, it would have been way beneficial to go to SC or whatever LA Film School or whatever the case may be.
No, that's real. We're not telling the whole story sometimes about people's journey, and I think the journey really is what it's all about. Right. Because a lot of times when you get to these panels that you go to, you hear people say they're mostly talking about what happened prior to them getting to where they are, sitting in that chair with all these hundreds of people watching it. Right. So we're not telling that. We're saying, oh, here's who they are, and people are coming out here saying, oh, boom, I'm gonna buy a camera. Oh, I've been working in corporate for years, but I can be an actor too. Right. I go buy headshots with the most expensive headshot photographer because I got some chips in the bank. Right. But you're not telling, they're skipping steps.
So many.
And you know what I mean? You bake a cake and you don't put some eggs in there, you take a bite of it, you're gonna have a surprise.
The first film festival I went to, I promise you, and I was brand new to it, right? Yeah. I went to this film, and it was in Montana, strangely.
Really?
I found out 5 years after I graduated that we had one of the top 5 film schools in the country. And I have no idea.
That's great.
I didn't even know I cared. But I went to a film festival in Montana, and for the entire festival, they were talking about this kid who had this movie. It had, Dakota Fanning, Glenn Close, blah, 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 blah. Like all these people in this kid's short film. They're like, he just got out there and he refused to take no for an answer. And he was the darling of this festival. Like every executive was talking about him. I'm talking about heads of studios are at this festival. And this kid just did. On the last day, we're sitting in a panel and they're like, yeah, so Bobby or whatever the heck his name is, his dad just happens to be one of the top 5 cinematographers in the history of film, but he did this all on his own, and I'm like, you might really believe you did this all on your own? Mm-hmm. There is not enough grind in me to get Dakota Fanning into my movie. Right. Especially, and I'm old, like I said, I'm old, so that was a while ago. Mm-hmm. Especially not like a 9-year-old Dakota when she was a Denzel Washington of children actors.
Right.
And I mean, this cast was star-studded, and they had the audacity to pass it off as he just tried really hard and he worked really hard and refused to take no as an answer. And I was just, in the last day, I was just like,
hey, well, we talking about, we're posting black. It ain't posting, how you doing. So, this is a real conversation, for African Americans, for black people. That's not a wake up on third base and we get an opportunity.
Come on, man.
So that situation you're referring to literally happens all the time. Right. And a lot of us, that's why we started this, is like, we don't know that there's even jobs in post-production or assistant camera, or you can hold a boom mic and get the sound for your favorite actor and work and do so many different jobs. But other people may fall into it, and then they just have a conversation with the writer and director. Next thing you know, they're an EP. Right. How does that happen? Have your relationships, grown over the years being out here? Or have they still felt stagnant? Do you feel, you feel like you fighting, like I'm talking about that old school fight. We take out the earrings, you just start swinging like that. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. What is it?
Wow.
Oh man.
Ooh, that hit the nerve.
I can come with another question. How do you like editing? But we're just trying to be real, because a lot of times people, again, we're not trying to sugarcoat anything. Mm-hmm. We don't want anything out of this besides of exposing people to the realness of what's going on in the industry and talking about how we're fighting and how we got there and maybe how we're still trying to get wherever there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had a weekend.
Yeah, you had a weekend. Yeah, okay.
To that, I mean, I don't want to say anything like specific to my whatever. I would just encourage anybody listening or watching that, as nice as the romance of we're in this together sounds, or can you just help me out, and if this thing takes off, then whatever. I would encourage anybody that's listening, if you get in a situation where, even if you're editing or color correct, whatever the case may be, if you're donating your time, resources, equipment, tools, abilities, whatever the case may be, even a small web series, and you want to do it for free, that's cool, do it for free, but make sure that you, at very least, write an email and say, hey, if this takes off and I need to be compensated for the work I've done, or I need to be attached to this in this kind of way, and if nothing comes of it, power to it. We worked, we did some cool stuff, we went to some film festivals, no problem. But
paper trail,
and if people that's how they sell you, right? It's like, if this takes off, then we did this, and it's a team, and if that's their true intention, there shouldn't be any problem for them. So yeah, if this takes off, I'm happy to write an email and say, you have this much of a stake in it, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Just go in with your eyes open and know that sometimes deals and success make people have a little bit of amnesia.
No, it's real. I mean, you're hitting on it. You're hitting on it real. I learned. I mean, we have a connection that was very after the fact. You had a series that you were in on Black and Sexy TV, and I, over the last few years, I wrote a series and had one on there, and so you learn things in conversations that you have in those negotiating. That was my first project, so I didn't know about myself. I didn't know what I had of value. I didn't know the conversations to have until after the fact. And then you learn for the next one.
Right.
And and I think that's what we have to tell people. It's like, yeah, it's fun, we can smile, but you do have to go into it with a sense of like awareness and understanding of the industry and the business, and then just be real. You know what I mean? And cover yourself. In any way.
Yeah.
We're switching back. We're hopping back and forth. So you mentioned Ava. Obviously, a lot of people, everything you see now, they're really hashtagging on love Ava, everything she does, and we support her. One of the first people we were able to interview was Taylor in Shropshire. She did Ava's When They See Us just now. She did, she did a lot of editing for her. She did Jump in the Broom. Wow. And so we got to interview her. Wow. A lot of people looking up to her. Who have been some people that you've said, you know what, I got into this mid-game, but I really like what they're doing, or I like that. I know you have your own voice for the stories you want to tell, things you want to rock on, or you say something, I like the way that looks when it's cut. Who edited that? Right. Who are some people that you may have looked at and say, I kind of aspire to do something, not similar, but in the likeness, or I like the way they carry themselves?
I'm a strange bird in that way.
It may not be anybody.
I played college football, and my friends used to be like, Desmond, how you play college football and you don't watch football on television? Like, I didn't know this guy or that guy. I don't know who the head coach is. I couldn't even tell you who's in the NFC or the AFC or anything like that. Like, I know I like watching it sometimes or whatever, but and I'm the same way with movies, because people are always like, who's your favorite director? Who's your favorite this? Who's your favorite? And I'm just like, I really like Clint Eastwood for a couple of movies, and then he made some trash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, am I obligated to be like, he's my favorite director, so I love this movie? So, I know for me, like, my favorite movie of all time is Tombstone. I love everything about the movie. My favorite cinematography in the movie, my favorite aesthetic movie. Yeah. They're both my favorites, but Tombstone's more story and whatever else have you. But Man on Fire, and I don't know who edited it.
That's a classic.
Man, whoever edited that, it was a genius.
Well, you know what? When this episode airs, it's going to be on the bottom. It's going to show us who edited it. So it's going to pop up right there.
This dude right here, that's what I like.
Right there. Yeah. One of my favorite lines in the movie is, "I wish you had more time."
Come on.
He said, "Can I get one wish?" He blowing him up by the car. If you haven't seen Man on Fire, if you haven't seen it, Denzel, one of classic films. I look at
when that dude said, he said, a man could be an artist at anything. Blah 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 blah. Creasy's art is death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece. What?
I was like, what is this?
He's going to paint his masterpiece. Huh? You talking about a masterpiece of killing folks?
Yeah.
I'm not even into action films, but
I mean, I was ready. I was, no lie, I was looking for it the other day to watch, and I didn't have it, and I remember the DVD.
Holla at your boy. I got the DVD, the Blu-ray. I think I own it digitally.
Hey, we might have to do that, because that's a real film. But no, I respect that. That's real. You bounce. Denzel said it. We speaking of him. He said he doesn't watch movies. He don't watch himself. And people are like, he's one of the greatest actors of all time.
I did not know that. He just made me feel better about myself.
No, he said he doesn't really watch. I mean, he respects like Pacino and the guys, but he doesn't really like go out and watch all their movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just not him. He just gets the work done.
Right.
And people are like, that's me. I'm obviously I'm watching everything, but I respect it. You do what works for you,
absolutely,
and the job gets done.
Right.
Okay, that's real. So we're talking about challenges, talking about working in post-production. Biggest challenge for you so far? In your career? Maybe you want to release that, like I say, challenge, the obstacle that you felt. Do you feel like you get the opportunities from the relationship you have, or do you feel like you're still, even now, 10 years, 12 years in the game, still struggling to make that one connect, which can say, okay, now I feel like I have somebody backing me, a team. You know what I mean? Because, like, I would speak personally as an actor, creator. Mm-hmm. Oh no, we just hit a nerve. We'll be right back after our sponsors.
Today is a day.
Today is a day. Oh, no, seriously, and I think that's the realness that people are going to connect to. Mm-hmm. Because again, we're not trying to repeat it, but we're not blowing smoke. Mm-hmm. I'm authentic as it come. I'm gonna tell you about the lows, because we're not about to just sit out here and act like everything's cool. Has there been issues? I felt at times that I have support, and people are like, man, Dave, I rock with you. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, nobody's going to care about what you're doing more than you. Mm. But do you have somebody that's like, you know what, anything you do, tell me what you need, boom, let's go. It's rare to have those.
Oh, I got a duffel bag full of people that tell me all the time. Anything you do, I'm there. I'm there. Okay. I do stuff. I don't see them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know how sometimes you get so frustrated that you just want to post on social media just like an announcement to everybody?
Oh boy.
I'm
talking to you, but if you're reading this,
and you feel some kind of way, this might be about you if you're reading this. I want to tell the world. Yeah. I want to tell the world if no matter if you're not willing to go to bat for me, mm-hmm. if you're not willing to introduce me to your manager, if you're not willing to introduce me to your agent, if you're not willing to make me a part of what you have going on, don't tell me how good of a director I am. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear it. No, new rule. Do not tell me I'm a good director if you're not willing to go to bat for me, because I don't care. You can keep all your words. That all sounds wonderful, and I appreciate it, and I'm humble. I can't eat words, and I don't need another word in my life. Like, you literally can tell me I'm a terrible director and then introduce me to the people that you're being introduced to, or the people that I've helped. Can we move on? No, we move on.
I feel you, though. I feel you. That's real. That's real. That comes from a real place. Okay, so, we kind of could skip over this one because it's the profession that we're working in, a close-knit community. It might not be. Might be some stuff going on behind the scenes. In terms of being close, obviously we have this situation. I think we're kind of tapping on it right now. We can share that. Okay, there's not many of us in position, but then the ones that are in position sometimes doesn't feel like maybe everyone's as willing to open up and be as caring and sharing. I've always felt like you can have maybe an idea, but you can't have me. Right. I got more ideas, and you be smart with what you share and do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I've never been one to kind of like, no. If I don't want something to get out, I don't say it to anybody. Right. But in terms of like close knit and people helping and supporting, do you feel it's good right now? Because it's still sometimes, from our perspective, maybe we see there's like pockets. Right. There's like a lot of black people working in this one, but that's their group. Right. Everybody in their group's gonna eat. Mm-hmm. But this group, that pocket, they're all eating, and they support each other. But it's not a universal. Do you feel like that in the African American community? And then people who are at the top, do you feel like they're doing a good enough job reaching back for the ones who are needing help?
I think because the outward approach towards diversity or inclusion or whatever this word is this month.
Yeah, did you know you're in right now?
Yeah. Whatever that is I think it's a misnomer. Mm-hmm. And I think because it's relatively new, and I think that newness has bred a sense of an approach of scarcity, and so the people the haves hoard it, and they're so afraid of rocking the boat and losing their newfound positions that they're not as willing as I would. And again, I've never been there, so I don't know that. I don't know what they go through. I don't know what that is. I don't know from that perspective. From my perspective, it just seems like I said, a lot of people have a lot of fans, but no champions. You know what I mean? So
that's real.
Yeah,
that's real. Well, we're gonna get you out of here on
this. The most emotional post Hollywood of all time. Post Black Hollywood.
Post Black. Like, what was going on in that? Like, man, nah. So we get you out of here on this, man. Mm-hmm. Talking about your career, it's been a journey from football to not even knowing you were gonna get into it to really rocking and having a lot of success. Even with the series and being an actor, being in front of the camera, editing, doing your own projects. Killing Lazarus. which you could tell us about too. But like moving forward, what are some goals and things you want to work on?
Available on Amazon now.
Yeah, Killing Lazarus, in case you don't know, available on Amazon right now.
The link's going to be
today.
right here.
It's going to be right there. You can watch the film.
Yeah.
This guy.
Watch it, rate it, review. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not even going Killing Lazarus. All right. But pretty much your goals moving forward for the future. What's on tap? What's on your heart? Not even thinking any limitations. What are you really wanting to get off the ground rest of the year and the future years? Anybody you want to work with? I know you're rocking to your own beat and you kind of move how you move, but is there anybody you're like, what, if I get the opportunity, I'm talking about me, Nicole Bahari. I would love to work with Nicole Bahari, and I have a project Nicole Bahari. Anyway, yes, yourself.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's gonna flow.
It's gonna flow. Right now, my goal is to stay out of working in concrete with my dad.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
I would love to work with Denzel.
Yes, sir.
If that counts. I don't even know if that's a thing. Are you allowed to? Denzel, Don Cheadle, if y'all listening somehow, holla at your boy. Mouse was a cold man, only man to ever outperform Denzel in a movie. Yeah.
There it is. That's real.
Yeah.
Well, no, bro.
Rosario.
There it is. We got any more?
I'm think of them later.
Yeah,
that was a terrible answer, by the way. I'm sorry, audience.
Nah, we're going to clean it up in post. My guy, Desmond Faison, appreciate you being here, posting Black. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Be sure to tune in on podcast, Spotify, wherever we at. We're going to put it right there. We know you're going to watch.